York City, the top of the hour, weekday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Fourth French presents discussion, debate, commentaries on social, political issues, current events, sports, entertainment, religion, education, science, and every Saturday at 10:30 a.m. for a full presentation on controversial issues such as war on blacks, are Republicans dumber than Democrats? Information which might irritate you, make you cry, make you laugh, but above all, will make you smarter. Because every time, it is the right thing to do. It is the only way to keep your sanity in a world of chaos, hypocrisy, immorality, and deception. Welcome to Common Sense. Welcome once again. I am MD and this is the Fourth Branch program, the place for common sense. Today we continue with a very important aspect of something we have been discussing for the longest, the Mueller report. Now, according to the report, well, Donald Trump has really some very questionable characters. Now, according to William Barr, Donald Trump is a saint that is being persecuted. Now, a few days ago, we started the reading of the Mueller report. All we do is reading the report. So we don't add, we don't subtract, we don't comment, we just read it. We actually even read those technical aspects of the report and let you know what that is. And today we're going to continue that conversation. We are going to continue where we left up last time, which is on the executive summary. The next section is going to be Russian contact with the campaign. Now, if you want to find out about the previous aspect, I strongly suggest you visit the People Branch YouTube channel, and there you will find that we already read the Mueller's letter to Barr. We already read the Barr letter. We also already read the beginning of the Mueller report. So we will continue to read the report line by line, page by page, until we complete the full report, at least the part that are not redacted. And while you're at on the YouTube channel, I strongly encourage you to subscribe so that you can receive invites, update, and you can be aware of what we are doing on the front. So stick around, we'll come right back to continue the reading of the Mueller report. So what does the Mueller report read? Well, here it is. We are reading the next section in the Mueller report, the executive summary. Now we are currently looking at Russian contact with the campaign. Now here is how it reads. Bear with me for just a moment. The social media campaign and the GRU, remember we also already mentioned what those words are, because as we're reading them, the abbreviation were looked at in the previous reading. So once again, do refer to the previous reading. The social media campaign and the GRU hacking operation coincided with a series of contacts between Trump campaign officials and individuals with ties to the Russian government. The office investigated whether those contacts reflected or resulted in the campaign conspiring or coordinating with Russia in its election interference activities. Although the investigation established that the Russian government perceived it would benefit from a Trump presidency and worked to secure that outcome, and that the campaign expected it would benefit electorally from information stolen and released through Russian efforts, the investigation did not establish that members of the Trump campaign conspired or coordinated with the Russian government in its election interference activities. The Russian contact consisted of business connection, offers of assistance to the campaign, invitation for candidate and Putin to meet in person, invitation for campaign official and representative of the Russian government to meet, and policy positioning seeking improved U.S.-Russian relations. Section 4 of this report details the contact between Russia and the Trump campaign during the campaign and transition periods, the most salient of which are summarized below in chronological order. In 2015, some of the earliest contacts were made in connection with a Trump Organization real estate project in Russia known as Trump Tower Moscow. Candidate Trump signed a letter of intent for Trump Tower Moscow by November 2015, and in January of 2016, Trump Organization executive Michael Cohen emailed and spoke about the project with the office of Russian government press secretary Dmitry Peskov. The Trump Organization pursued the project through at least June 2016, including by considering travel to Russia by Cohen and candidate Trump. Campaign foreign policy advisor George Papadopoulos made early contact with Joseph Mifsud, a London-based professor who had connection to Russia and traveled to Moscow in April of 2016. Immediately upon his return to London from that trip, Mifsud told Papadopoulos that the Russian government had dirt on Hillary Clinton in the form of thousands of emails. 1 week later, in the first week of May 2016, Papadopoulos suggested to a representative of a foreign government that the Trump campaign had received indication from the Russian government that it could assist the campaign through the anonymous release of information damaging to candidate Clinton. Throughout that period of time and for several months thereafter, Papadopoulos worked with Mifsud and two Russian nationals to arrange a meeting between the campaign and the Russian government. No meeting took place. Summer 2016. Russian outreach to the Trump campaign continued into the summer of 2016 as candidate was becoming the presumptive Republican nominee for president. On June 9, 2016, for example, a Russian lawyer met with senior Trump campaign official Donald Trump Jr., Jared Kushner, and campaign chairman Paul Manafort to deliver what the email proposing the meeting had described as official document and information that would incriminate Hillary. The material were offered to Trump Jr. as part of Russia and its government support for Mr. Trump. The written communication setting up the meeting showed that the campaign anticipated receiving information from Russia that could assist candidate electoral prospect, but the Russian lawyer presentation did not provide such information. Day after the June 9th meeting, on June 14, 2016, a cybersecurity firm and the DNC announced that Russian government hackers had infiltrated the DNC and obtained access to opposition research on candidate Trump, among other documents. In July of 2016, campaign foreign policy advisor Carter Page traveled in his personal capacity to Moscow and gave the keynote address at the New Economic School. Page had lived and worked in Russia between 2003 and 2007. After returning to the United States, Page became acquainted with at least 2 Russian intelligence officers, one of whom was later charged in 2015 with conspiracy to act as an unregistered agent of Russia. Page's July 2016 trip to Moscow and his advocacy for pro-Russian foreign policy drew media attention. The campaign then distanced itself from Page and, by late September 2016, removed him from the campaign. July 2016 was also the month WikiLeaks first released emails stolen by the GRU from the DNC. On July 22, 2016, WikiLeaks posted thousands of internal DNC documents revealing information about a Clinton campaign. Within days, there was public reporting that U.S. intelligence agency had high confidence that the Russian government was behind the theft of email and documents from the DNC. And within a week of the release, the foreign government informed the FBI about its May 2016 interaction with Papadopoulos and his statement that the Russian government could assist the Trump campaign. On July 31, 2016, based on foreign government reporting, the FBI opened an investigation into potential coordination between the Russian government and individuals associated with the Trump campaign. Separately, on August 2, 2016, Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort met in New York City with his longtime business associate Konstantin Kilimnik, who the FBI assesses to have ties to Russian intelligence. Kilimnik requested the meeting to deliver in person a peace plan for Ukraine that Manafort acknowledged to the special counsel's office was a backdoor way for Russia to control part of eastern Ukraine. Both men believe the plan would require candidate Trump assent to succeed were he to be elected president. They also discuss the status of the Trump campaign and Manafort's strategy for winning Democratic vote in Midwestern states. Months before that meeting, Manafort caused internal polling data to be shared with Kilimnik, and the sharing continued for some period of time after their August meeting. Fall 2016. On October 7, 2016, the media released video candidate Trump speaking in graphic terms about women years earlier, which was considered damaging to his candidacy. Less than an hour later, WikiLeaks made its second release. Thousands of John Podesta emails that had been stolen by the GRU in late March 2016. The FBI and other U.S. government institutions were at the time continuing their investigation of suspected Russian government efforts to interfere in the presidential election. That same day, October 7th, the Department of Homeland Security and the Office of the Director of National Intelligence issued a joint public statement that the Russian government directed the recent of email from U.S. persons and institutions, including from U.S. political organizations. Those thefts and the disclosure of the hacked material through online platforms such as WikiLeaks, the statement continued, are intended to interfere with the U.S. election. Post-2016 election. Immediately after the November 8 election, Russian government officials and prominent Russian businessmen began trying to make inroads into the new administration. The most senior level of the Russian government encouraged these efforts. The Russian embassy made contact hours after the election to congratulate the president-elect and to arrange a call with President Putin. Several Russian businessmen picked up the effort from there. Kirill Dmitriev, the chief executive officer of Russia's Foreign Sovereign Wealth Fund, was among the Russians who tried to make contact with the incoming administration. In early December, a business associate steered Dmitriev to Eric Prince, a supporter of the Trump campaign and an associate of senior Trump advisor Steve Bannon. Dmitriev and Prince later met face-to-face in January of 2017 in the Seychelles and discussed U.S.-Russia relations. During the same period, another business associate introduced Dmitriev to a friend of Jared Kushner who had not served on the campaign or the transition team. Dmitriev and Kushner's friend collaborated on a short-written reconciliation plan for the United States and Russia, which Dmitriev implied had been cleared through Putin. The friend gave that proposal to Kushner before the inauguration, and Kushner later gave copies to Bannon and incoming Secretary of State Rex Tillerson. On December 29, 2016, then President Obama imposed sanctions on Russia for having interfered in the election. Incoming National Security Advisor Michael Flynn called Russian Ambassador Sergei Kislyak and asked Russia not to escalate the situation in response to the sanction. The following day, Putin announced that Russia would not take retaliatory measure in response to the sanction at that time. Hours later, President-elect Trump tweeted, "Great move on delay by Vladimir Putin." The next day, on December 31st, 2016, Kislyak called Flynn and told him the request had been received at the highest level, and Russia had chosen not to retaliate as a result of Flynn's request. We will continue the reading of the Mueller report tomorrow when we return with the next episode of the program. I thank you for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful afternoon. See you soon. That was through the prism of common sense. Join us again tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. for a full presentation. I am MD, host of the Fourth Branch program, The Place for Common Sense. Send us comments, criticism, suggestion, or simply let us know how we're doing. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful afternoon. See you next time.